Good morning, friends. I'm so happy to be here today so that we can think about the prophetess together and do some practice together. And I think that today is perfect for us to go deeper with the prophetess because I feel like even just this week, since last week, spring has started to bloom. And I've been thinking a lot about how the prophetess greets us in gardening and greets us in sort of the process of watching the earth come to life and unfold. And just what it means to have a vision of something that is to come, to have a vision of what's meant to come, and also to be spacious in that vision, right? So that there's enough flexibility for things to unfold in their natural timing. But I think that the earth teaches us so much about what it means to be a prophetess, to hold, to see seeds and buds and hold their potential. And also to know that spiritual potential or capacity to grow is part, but not all, of the journey. That also it's about how we sow those seeds and how we whisper prayers of love, so that the things that we know have the capacity to grow and blossom and nourish us, we co-create that capacity. And this is, as I've been learning more about her, what I sense the prophetess is here to help us with. She doesn't deliver our dreams to us, right? But she also doesn't not. It's like the witchiest thing, and witchy, by witchy I mean like most amazing and like ideal, okay? Like the witchiest and most amazing, powerful path that we can take is to unlearn all of the limiting beliefs that we have been told by all of the systems of oppression that exist in this world. And we all know what they are, and we've named them together many times. There can be nothing witchier and more powerful than being able to see ourselves outside of those parameters, outside of the ones that are sort of handed down to us, instead, worlds that are birthed from within. And so, in this way, a witch is anyone who believes what it is that they hear from within, maybe over what it is that bombards them from outside. And you all know that sometimes we hear a little voice within, and it is like a bud. It is like a little bud on the flower stem that says, "Whisper love to me, care for me, so that I might grow." And I think that the prophetess, in my mind, shows up in that moment to keep us company on the journey of hearing ourselves, to fortify us. Once I saw this video on Instagram of a plant mom whose plant had like broken, right? Like there was a really strong stem, and I think this person had been working very hard on growing this plant. And so I watched them cut this straw and make this little cast for the stem of the plant, because the sinew was still attached, right? So that the rest of the stem could grow, but it needed some fortification to be able to stand up and continue to grow. I think that the inclination to make that cast and the materials to make that cast and the willingness to offer the spell of healing to something that, she could have just as easily just snipped the branch and said, fuck it, right? But instead, there was this sense of like, there's something worth tending to here. And I think that the prophetess invites us to say, when we hear those little inklings of there's something growing, there's something asking to be known, there's something ready to emerge. Not always a beautiful rosebud, right? Sometimes it's like gnarly, it's heavy, it might be really ancestral and not even just belong to us, but something that we're channeling through from the past. And so it's a lot, and we all deserve help in carrying that and in finding the holiness and the power and the joy of it all. And I am feeling like the prophetess is the friend and the guide and the scarf when we're chilly that comes to join us and say, those whispers are sacred, You can hear them, you can hold them, and you can move from that place. Even the quietest vision or inclination is the beginning of something. And part of this path is that we don't rush the growth, but we also don't forget that growth is happening when it's happening slowly. Right? Seeing the capacity inside of the tiny little seed. And also knowing that it takes time to unfold. So if it feels right, you can let your eyes close here for a moment and just breathe into, I don't know about you, but postnasal drip is real right now. So a little bit of ujjayi to clear out some of the allergens that have been coming through, in and out through the nose. And maybe even through the congestion of and the joy of spring, you find a little stream of clarity. One of my teachers described it as sipping clean air in through a straw, through your nose, through your throat, through your chest, through your belly. And would we like a whole wind tunnel of clear space? Of course. But also there's something really potent about knowing that we only need a small opening to find our way towards new air. So we start with this little straw that helps to fortify the plant that has wilted over and helps to start to feed us a little bit of nourishment from the trees around us that offer us this clear and clean air that amplifies our capacity. And just take a moment here as you're breathing to, if it feels right, visualize a well. And this can be Miriam's well, the sacred well of both nourishment and divination, the place where we find the things that keep us going spiritually and physically. Let's imagine this well without obstacle. It's not hidden. There are no brambles over it. We simply just walk up to the well, and there it is, ready for drinking. Ready for pouring over ourselves, stepping into with our feet, submerging our hands. Just notice what part of you is drawn to that well of nourishment. What part of you feels really ready and hungry this morning to receive the nourishment that will allow you to keep listening to the sacred messages that are coming from within. And maybe we take comfort in knowing that at least one part of us is ready to receive. Even if there are many other parts that are not so sure yet. It's okay. This happens in a titrated way, bit by bit, right? Tiny centimeter of connective tissue by a tiny centimeter, we start to open. And if you like, you could reach your arms up towards the sky, just stretch from your middle up, and let your hands come to meet in front of your heart or in front of your forehead. And we'll start with a sound that calls you in or calls you up. Take a deep breath in. And let your hands just peel open here in this gesture of both offering and receiving, right? Something coming from the heart and also receiving from around us. And we'll use this image in our practice today. When you're ready, child's pose is where we'll start. As always, a reminder that this is your practice and you do you today. Especially when we're talking about the divination and the capacity that comes from listening from within. What a beautiful invitation to literally do what feels right for you. So child's pose, and you can wiggle your tush. And you can spread your fingers wide. And you can start to walk your hands over to the right. Maybe the right hand comes off the mat and the left palm just stretches long. Let your chest soften towards the earth. Feel your lungs starting to grow and expand and warm here. Walk your hands back through center and over to the left to stretch long through the right side body. Hands come back through center. Lift up to tabletop on an inhale. And then tuck your toes, stretch up and back, downward facing dog. Start to pedal through your feet. Bend one knee, stretch the other heel back. And then switch sides. When you're ready, start to walk your feet up towards your hands at the top of the mat. As much of a bend in the knees as feels good. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. You could interlace your fingers at your low back. Lift your hands up and over if that feels right for your spine today. Gently release the hands. Inhale, swing your arms all the way up to standing, reach tall. And exhale, hands to your heart. Spread your fingers open, palms face up towards the sky. Feel your pinky fingers together. And just offer a prayer here. A prayer to your home or yourself or the earth underneath you. Devoting your time and your energy and your practice. And knowing that that energy will come back to you when we generously offer. When you're ready, sit back for chair pose. Stretch the arms up, big breath. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Step your right foot back, drop your right knee to the earth, low lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Clasp your left fingertips around your right wrist, lengthen your spine, and just lean up and over to the left. Pull your left hip back a little bit. Back through center, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the earth, tuck your back toes, stretch both legs straight. Long pyramid pose. Curl your left toes back towards you. Good. Slowly bend your front knee. Plant your hands to the earth. Sweep your left leg up and back. Down dog with the left leg lifted. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back behind you. Step your left foot forward again, this time high lunge. Lift up. Big breath in here. Exhale, warrior three. Arms sweep back by your sides. Press off your back foot. Slowly. Heart reaching forward. Right heel reaching back. All the way up to standing, left hand outside your right knee. Right arm reaches back behind you. Feel your sternum lift and open here. Good, y'all. Take your time. Big breath in. Standing splits, windmill down, hands to the earth. Right foot up and back. Let your head hang. Good. Right knee tucks back behind the left heel. Come all the way down to a seat. Your left foot is stepped over your right thigh. Yeah, left hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. And then hook your upper arm or hug your knee in, twist to the left. Feel your tailbone soften towards the earth. And then your forehead can lift. Good. Take your time there. When you're ready, back through center. Take this top leg, sweep it back behind you. Half pigeon with the right leg forward. You might have to widen your right knee out to the right a little bit. Good. Make some space in your heart. Lift up through your center. Big breath in. And exhale, fold forward. You might be down to the palms or down to your forearms here. And if it feels right, you can turn your palms to face up again. That same gesture of opening. And just allowing this thread of curiosity around the messages that are finding their way to the surface in you, without any demand that they come forward or reveal themselves. All we can ever do is create the conditions for things to emerge when they're ready. Plant the seeds in the garden and water them and whisper our prayers and trust that the divine spirit will collaborate with us to allow things to unfold. Good, let's take a little twist. Prop up on your right hand. Thread your left arm underneath your right. Now, if you're like me and your shoulders are a little tight, you might like to have a pillow or a block under your left shoulder. Depending on what's happening, your head might come down to the earth, or you might stay up on your hands and just gently twist to the right. There's no one right way for a flower to grow, right? And never have I looked at a flower and thought like, I feel really critical of you. I wish that you had done that differently. But we look at ourselves all the time and say that. So I think the invitation is to be with ourselves as flower energy, right? How do we see both our unfurling and our drawing in as part of a larger emergence of self? And how do we give ourselves grace the way that we would to any flower that's growing? Because I've got a lot of compassion for flowers and how they're making their way to the sun. Hi, Theo. When you're ready, come back through center, plant your hands to the earth, tuck your back toes, squeeze your right knee into your right tricep, pick it up. Sweep your right leg up and back, shake it out. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward, top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All the way up to standing, reach tall. Hands to your heart. Peel the palms open. Good. When you feel plugged in, chair pose, sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left foot back, left knee to the earth. Inhale, sweep your arms up towards the sky. And use your exhale to soften down into your front foot. Take your right fingertips around your left wrist. Lengthen through your left rib cage. And just a gentle lean like over a big beach ball up and over to the right. My front foot has the tendency to want to turn inward here. So just check it out that the toes are tracking forward to protect your knee. Lifting up without straining, right, is a lesson that I'm trying to learn from flowers. Like leaning towards the things that bring us warmth without over-efforting to grow. Back through center. When you're ready, hands to the earth. Tuck your back toes, stretch both legs straight. You could curl your right toes back towards you. Invite your breath to be a cleansing water that spreads through and around your body to help tension that is not needed release down into the earth and become something holy, groundwater to support us. Slowly rebend your front knee, plant your hands, sweep your right leg up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Good, right leg up and back. Step your right foot forward, high lunge. Slowly track your gaze up. Big inhale here. Warrior three. Shift your weight forward, arms back by your hips. Launch. Spread your toes. Feel the earth as a resource underneath you. All the way up to standing, right hand outside your left knee, flex your left toes, left arm can reach back behind you. Feel the warmth of the sun above your head, that's what helps to lift you. Standing splits, windmill forward. Big breath in. Exhale, coil down, left knee drops to the earth, right foot steps over the left thigh. Right hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, hook or hug it in as you twist to the right. The right shoulder sometimes wants to be the thing that twists us. So see if you can find a deeper place at your upper belly for the twist to kind of initiate from. Good, y'all. Back through center. Swing that top leg around. Widen your left knee out to the left a little bit. Half pigeon, open through your chest. You can prop up on your fingertips. And then fold forward as much or as little as you like. Breathe into the broadness of the back of your ribs. The back door of your heart. And if it feels right for your spine, you could prop up on your left hand and thread your right arm underneath for a thread the needle variation here. If you come down to the earth, you're welcome to wrap your left arm around you and reach for your left big toe. slowly start to unwind and unwrap. Plant your hands underneath you. Tuck your back toes. Squeeze your left knee up into your left armpit. Yes, sweep your left leg up and back, shake it out. And then step your left foot forward, step your right foot forward. Feet walk out a bit from Malasana. Yogic squat, toes out, heels in. Bring your right hand down and forward, left arm up and back, open through the chest. Different parts of you are going to be ready to reach towards the light at different times. Back through center. And then we'll switch side. Left hand grounds you so the right arm can reach. So this whole physical practice is really designed to let us ask the question, where can I anchor so that I can expand? So maybe anchoring in your left big toe and your left thumb here. Good, back through center. Crow pose if you like, hands to the earth, or you can stretch your arms up towards the sky and feel into your pelvic floor like a fan, the muscles opening and lightly but securely supporting you from underneath. Just the tiniest bit of lift here. And we're gonna hop back. So you can hop back from crow, or when you're ready, you can plant your hands to the earth, engage your core a little bit, and hop back. Take a deep breath in. Slow chaturanga, halfway down. Cobra or upward facing dog, deep breath. Good, y'all, downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg up and back into the sky, full inhale. Step your right foot forward, high lunge, take your time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, standing splits, hands to the earth, left toes lift. Big breath in here. Coil down and in, left knee taps behind the right heel. Inhale, peel it open, feet open away from each other. Exhale, coil down and in. One more time, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, coil down and in. Stay right here in the crouch, bring your hands up to your heart. And then slowly extend, warrior three. That's it. Big breath into the strength in your right leg. Step all the way back to warrior one. Stretch your arms up. Warrior two, open to the side. Flip your palms, exalted warrior, reach up and back. Left fingertips around the right wrist again. Soften into the bend of your right knee. And just the gentlest lengthening of your right arm. Keep the neck soft if you can. And you can play with straightening your front knee and bending your front knee. When you're ready, take a big inhale. Release the bind of the hands, half moon. Launch onto your right foot. Let your pelvis and your heart open here. Good, y'all. Soft jaw, big breath in. Exhale, come down into a crouch. Hands together, knees together again. Standing splits, hands to the earth, left toes up. Step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your left knee to the earth. Straighten your right leg. And we'll twist to the right. Just walk your hands over to the right. You could bring your left hand outside your right foot if that feels good. Back through center. You're going to take this front leg and you're going to thread it over your back knee. Separate your feet and sit back for Gomukhasana. Right knee on top. Yeah, so in Gomukhasana, the knees sort of snuggle in towards midline. You can bring your hands towards your knees and just gently encourage them in. Let your sits bones find the earth. Not as like a forcing down, but as like a place they were meant to land. This is sort of like how I imagine it would feel to be a seed and find your way into the earth with water, with sunlight, with nourishment, that you know you're home. Slow, deep breaths here. We're just going to take a side bend so the legs can stay rooted here. Right hand comes over to the right and reach your left arm up and over. Back up through center. Slowly turn to the left. Plant your hands on the back of your mat. Straighten your legs. Walk your feet in as much as you need to get back to Malasana, facing the back of the mat. Elbows inside your knees, hands to your heart. Good, and then your play from here, you could take that twist again. This time, if you like, you could take the twist into the bind, reaching back and around to play around with connecting to your cat or your hands back behind you or a strap. I've said this before and I'll say it again, that the practice of binding is meant to remind us that we get to unbind. So the point is not to crunch up as much as we can, right? It's to find a little bit of bind and tension and then feel the release. So let yourself really savor that release as you let that side go. And if you're twisting, you can open to the other side. And be curious about whether that's an experience you want to try on this side or not, right? Both are perfect answers here. Good, back through center. Again, you could come to crow pose. You could come to baby crow on your forearms, whatever feels good. You could stay in Malasana and breathe. Hey buddy, are you helping me? Thank you. When you're ready, you're gonna step or hop back to high plank. Take a deep inhale here and slow lower on an exhale. Chaturanga or all the way down. Cobra or upward facing dog on your next breath in. And stretch it back, downward facing dog. Deep breath out. Take a big inhale through your nose. Stick out your tongue, open your eyes, lion's breath. Again, like that deep breath in. Full breath out. Let it go. Stretch your right leg up and back into the sky. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Lizard pose. Yep, drop your back knee to the earth. Swing your right arm back and around, clasp your left foot. Release that back foot, hands come to the earth. Tuck your back toes, you could stay right here. You could again lift your right knee to your right tricep and breathe. Eventually right leg swings up, bend your knee, stack your hips. You could flip your dog if that feels good. Feet underneath your knees. Good, unflip when you're ready. Step your right foot in between your hands this time. Walk around to the left between your feet. Toes in, heels out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Your choice. Anything with your arms that feels good. Finding the places where you're anchoring down. And then feel the expansion that can come from that. Just some time to play and move your upper body. Bring your hands in underneath your shoulders. Take a halfway lift, deep breath. Bend your left knee, walk around top of the mat. Sweep your left leg up and back, shake it out. And left foot outside your left hand, drop your right knee. Reach back to clasp your back foot. Big exhales out through your mouth, especially if you feel your body building heat. And when you feel ready, you can release your back foot, hands to the earth, tuck your back toes, left knee squeezes up towards your left tricep. Left leg up and back, bend your knee, stay right here, or let that foot take you over. You can reset, drop your tush, and then unfurl. Feel your heart lifting up to drink in the space above you. Yeah. Good, y'all. Unflip, left leg up and back. Shake it out. Step your left foot forward, high lunge. Lift up. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, launch forward, standing splits. Big inhale, peel open with the toes. And then exhale, coil down and in. Tap your right knee behind your left heel. Inhale, stretch open. Exhale, spiral down and in. One more time, inhale, reach tall with your right big toe. Exhale, draw it down and in. Square your heart forward. Slowly lift your hands up to heart. And then you're going to press down into the earth, wake vault, to stretch warrior three. Good, bend your standing leg, step back, warrior one. Inhale, lift. Soften, open, warrior two. Flip your palms, exalted warrior. Right fingertips could come around the left wrist. And just a gentle lengthening of your left side body here. If you like, straighten and bend that front knee a couple of times. Let something soften and open here. It might even be the eyes softening shut, or the arms softening open. When you're ready, release the clasp of the hands. Take a big breath in. Half moon onto your left foot. Breathe into the back door of your heart here. Feel it open. It's reaching in all directions here to let the front of your chest be spacious. Good, y'all. Spacious breath in. Exhale, hands and knees together. Coil in. Standing splits. Right toes reach up. Step your right foot all the way back. Drop your right knee to the earth. Straighten your left leg. Gently walk your hands over to the left. You can bring your right hand outside your left foot and flex your toes. Unwind the twist when you feel ready. This front leg will wrap over to the right. Widen your right foot to the left. And you're sitting back between your feet for Gomukhasana. Left knee on top this time. Find spaciousness in your spine as your sits bones get heavy towards the earth. your left hand down to your left side and reach your right arm up and over for a side bend. Slowly let your vertebrae stack to lift you back up. Keep turning to the right. Plant your hands, stretch both legs straight, folding towards the back of the mat. Toes out, heels in again. Malasana, yogic squat. This time, palms together and peel them open. Slow, deep breaths. You're part of a larger river. So feel the water coming down your head and your forehead, down the arms, out through your fingertips. You're in the channel of source moving through and around you. Let it clear off what you're carrying that no longer belongs to you. Slowly, piece by piece, we invite ourselves to become more fully ours, which means letting go of what doesn't belong to us. And those things are sticky, so we need help, right? We need those sacred waters to help us clear. Big breath in, exhale out through your mouth. Hands to the earth, straighten both legs, toes forward. Nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. And let your upper body get into it. Really wiggle around. Wiggle your arms, wiggle your fingers. Shake it out here. Good. When you're ready, come up to standing. Shake it out a little bit up here. Rolling your shoulders back. Bending your knees. Wiggling through your arms and legs. Just some looseness so things aren't held too tight. And you'll step to the back of the mat when you're ready, stepping onto your right foot, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Eagle pose, left leg wraps over, a lot like Gomukhasana, left arm wraps under. Sit deep. Let yourself find your seat back behind you. The prophetess has pulled up a chair and is offering it here. See if you can feel it there. Unwrap for half moon. Let the arms and legs open. Feel the difference here. Skandasana towards the front of the mat. Left bum cheek to your left heel. Flex your right toes. Yeah. Switch sides. Right bum cheek to your right heel. Flex your left toes. And then slowly stay close to the earth as you start to rebend your front knee. Shift your weight forward and launch. Half moon. Good, y'all. We get more and more practice at bringing our breath and our support with us in transitions. Up to standing, eagle pose. Right leg over, right arm under. Is there something that can be a little less tightly wound and held here while the pose still happens? Good, y'all. Unwrap, half moon. Step back to warrior two. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs, lift up. Goddess pose at center. Palms together. Peel the palms open. Pelvis softens towards the earth as the palms are buoyant and lift up. Big breath out. Stay here for as long as you like. Half moon towards the back of the mat when you're ready. All the way up to standing for eagle pose, left leg over, left arm under. Good. Unwrap to chair pose, stretch your arms up. Exhale, sit back, sit deep. Inhale here. Exhale, sit a little deeper. One more time, deep breath in. All the way down onto your tush. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs out, boat pose. Soften your jaw, wiggle your toes. Let there be some flexibility here. If you like, you could bend your knees, reach through, loop your big toes with your peace sign fingers. Yep. And then just slowly play around with the unfurling. Spine is reaching out on a diagonal up and back. Legs are reaching on a diagonal out and forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Lie all the way down onto your back. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees out wide. One hand to your belly. One hand to your heart. Or other spots on the body that are calling for attention or support here. Deep breaths in and out. Feel the back door of your heart soften into the support of the earth behind it. And just notice what happens in your system when you have that felt sense of support. Is there anything new that's available or online? Maybe it's the capacity to dream or to let new visions come through you. When you're ready, use your hands to help you lift your knees up. Walk your feet in towards your tush. And we'll set up for bridge pose in any way that you like. Some folks like to take a block or a pillow and hug it between the thighs. So you can really feel your center line as you lift up. Let it be play. Let it be fluid. You can lift and lower in your own timing. Resting when it feels right for you. We don't lose anything by pausing and filling our cups again. And then if bridge pose or wheel pose speaks to you, fingertips point towards your shoulders, take your time. Using your inhale to lift up and breathing deeply along your back body and your front body. If you've taken wheel, take some circles with your wrists. Windshield wiper your knees side to side when you do make your way down. And then we'll take Gomukhasana on our backs. So same shape, thread the right knee on top of the left. Reach up for the outer blades of your feet. They sometimes have the tendency to want to reach towards your tush, but instead reach them up towards the sky. Check that out and see how that feels. Yeah. And then send your right tush down away from your shoulder a bit. You can gently hug your feet towards the earth as you resist up into your hands with your feet. Gently release your bottom foot, hug your right knee in towards your chest, and then pull it across your body. Scoot your bottom hip back for a twist on your back, reaching your right arm up and back across a diagonal in line with your bottom leg. And just breathe into the crossbody line between your right toes and your right fingertips. Good. Slowly find your way back through center. Take your time. And we'll switch sides. This time left knee on top of right for reclined Gomukhasana. Let your shoulders melt towards the earth and your collarbones broaden. Release your bottom foot, stretch that leg long, hug your left knee into your chest, and then gently pull it across your body. You can prop it up with a pillow underneath your knee if that feels good, and the left arm can reach up and back on a diagonal. In your own timing, back through center. Squeeze both knees in towards your chest. Rock a little side to side. Make some circles with the knees, clockwise and then counterclockwise. And then we'll set up for either shoulder stand here, right? Or supported shoulder stand, a block underneath your low back, legs up towards the sky. Or my personal favorite, you can scooch your butt up to a wall And swing your legs up the wall for Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. Stairway to Heaven pose is what it's called. It can feel nice to fold up a blanket so that you can lay it underneath your hips. Yeah, so that the sacrum is just slightly elevated, and then the rest of the spine can elongate back. Take the time to let yourself be comfortable. Yeah, take your time here. Setting up for whatever variation of this shape calls to you. We'll spend a couple minutes here, so no rush to get there. And if you're in any of the restorative variations, anything other than full active shoulder stand, then as much as you can, letting your upper body soften in towards the earth. Your arms might open in a cactus shape or a T. The legs are stretching up towards the sky and they're also supported. So how can you let your upper body receive the nourishment of the earth behind and beneath it? And you might just let yourself visualize here the sprouts and the vines from these seeds that we've been planting, starting to slowly curl their way out of the earth to meet you at your sacrum, right at your low back. To nourish you, to provide just that right little bit of comfort or support or softness so that you can feel really held and cradled there. And through words or images or a felt sense, you could ask these vines of the wisdom of Shekhinah, the divine feminine. You can truly ask her any question that calls to you. You might ask her, is it safe for me to bring these tender parts of myself forward? And see how she responds. You might ask her for something that you're yearning for, or offer to her, let me know how I can be a vessel for your wisdom. How can I allow your healing waters to flow through me? And if conversation with her doesn't feel accessible, you could ask yourself, what have you planted that prepares you for the process of unfurling? And if you like, if it feels right to you, you might visualize a vine coming around the right side of your belly and the left side of your belly and up through your legs and your pelvis. Those three parts meeting right at the hara, the low belly, the earth space in the body. And energetically or physically, you start to braid them together. These three parts, braiding them up your belly, up your chest, up your throat, integrating wisdom from the past, presence in the now, and the possibility of the future together, to allow you to both trust the timing of your unfolding and to nourish yourself deeply in your own process. Let yourself rest and be held, anchored by the supportive, comforting weight of this braid along your center line. And you might like to stay in this shape for the remainder of Shavasana, or if you prefer, you can release the support from under your sacrum and lie all the way back. And I invite you into what we call a chevruta, which is partnership or community. You might imagine that the braids along all of us are steady and also have lots of space to reach out, so that if we were in the same room, we would all be lying in a circle with our heads facing the center, expanding into dreaming and visioning together. And that the threads of the ribbons and the vines from these braids reach out from our throats to one another's throats, making a huge circle woven together, fortifying each other in our capacity to dream and to envision and to be soft in community. So if that's comforting or nourishing, you can let yourself be held by that crown of braids wrapped around. Take your time here. When you're ready, you can come into Happy Baby on your way up to a meditative seat. But there's no rush to get here. And you don't have to leave the support of the crown of vines behind you. It can come with you. This is for you. This invitation from the Prophetess to know yourself more fully, to hear your intuition. I know that we walk through the world and we do all the things that we need to do. And there are so many moments in that don't necessarily encourage us towards listening deeply to intuition. And there's an invitation prayer at the beginning of my favorite oracle deck that I'll read to you. Okay. On the surface, you meet the requirements that modern society and living entail. You work the job, you care for your loved ones, you pay your bills. And you sense in times of stillness the part of you that knows there are other ways to be free. There have been moments where you have tuned in and touched your power. For a glimpse in time, you feel whole and aligned. You understand that you are guided and that the guidance you are given supports you and your life in ways that are so unique and potent, it feels almost unimaginable. And I am here to tell you it is not. We have disregarded our wisdom and the guidance we receive. Where has this got us? Disenchantment, disconnection, and longing. I know it is true, and now I am unknowing it, and it feels good. You remember this, I know you do. But there is fear and nervousness that lies inside, and I want to validate that. This journey is not for the faint-hearted, and that is why I am talking to you now. It's been calling to you for some time, hasn't it? And you're ready to embrace a new way. It calls for you to listen and put one foot in front of the other. There will be mountain highs and dark valley lows. It is an adventure, and you have the tools you need. And I do not need to tell you where the magic comes from. It comes from you. Yes, that soft whisper, that is yours, and you would not have it if you didn't know how to create it. At first, no doubt it seems hazy, which is possibly why we haven't given it more attention. But attention is what it needs. Some quiet moments, a listening ear, intuition. And I will be bold and say that embracing and harnessing your natural, intuitive, and psychic nature and reconnecting with your whole self is the next step in your growth. It is what guides you to soul fulfillment and purpose. Intuition is the mystery and tool you seek for the life that meets your needs and the adventure your flesh and blood long for. Tune in and hear what it has to say. Embrace what resonates. You know a truth when you hear one. I found this prayer after I wrote the email last night, which said, truth is a prayer. And indeed it is. Truth of the body, truth of the heart, truth of the intuition, and the threads that connect the braids of our own nourishment to one another. It is such a gift to amplify each other in this circle so that we can hear just a little bit more what has been a whisper and becomes a hum. And so my invitation to you this week is to start out by letting it be a whisper, and to notice if you can encourage it to be louder and louder. Maybe it becomes a roar. This is how the sound, the nadi, the sacred sound inside of our bodies, nadam, it's like this root from yoga that means the sacred sound of all sounds. And it's said to start by sounding like this tiny tinkling bell that you can hardly hear. And that as you practice and you practice listening to it, it becomes a rushing river and roaring. So we invite the sounds that are just barely audible to speak to us and through us. And I'm listening with you, and it's such an honor. Om Bolo Shri 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 Satguru Bhagavan Ki. I bow to the teacher and the light in each one of you. Jai, I love you so much. It's such a gift to be together. Thank you for being with me in the Prophetess. Next week, we will move on to our next priestess archetype, which is, let's see. Oh, yes, the shrine keeper. So we'll have lots of fun and talk about the earth element and altar making and all sorts of magic. I love you all so much. I'll be thinking of you as I'm praying and moving in the mountains for my birthday. I bring you with me everywhere that I go. Thank you for being here.